What is this thing? So let's see what questions we have only on Paranormal, True or False. It is free to subscribe. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you. Is this a ghostly figure? As the camera is pointed towards the street, on the right hand side, we will suddenly see a figure that looks like they're holding a flashlight. But then again, they turn into this ghostly mist. This is a camera that's IR sensor is not reaching far enough to provide all the light needed to capture that image. It is also an issue of just static cameras not picking up everything, and potentially a data mesh issue. Either way, it is a human being carrying a flashlight walking down the sidewalk. Is a ghost clocking out? When the camera points to the left, we will suddenly see the hands on the clock start to spin counterclockwise. Is this clock malfunctioning? So what if there's a hole in that wall covered by the clock, and someone's on the other side of that wall reaching in with their hand through that hole and just turning those dials or those hands on the back side of the clock? Look at the towel, and to the left side of that towel. Doesn't that look like a hole behind there? Is it possible they tried to poke the hole from the other side and messed up and put it too high to reach the dial to spin those hands? It's possible this clock is just possessed, but I can also see how I could recreate that. Is this a peeper watching this guy? As this gentleman is walking by this house, in the window on the ground floor far right of our screen, suddenly a white figure appears in that window. I feel like we have a couple of things. This first one, that right there, is a lens flare. And then I'm not sure on this one if there's a bug flying by or if this is a lens flare as well. Or is it a combination of both? So this time I'm going to slow it way down so we can maybe see what's going on, because we get a lot of jerky footage that's pixelating out of focus when it's slowed down too. So I don't know if they've added some type of a video effect to cause all this glitchiness and pixelization, or if it's just a crappy camera. The combination of the cameras not being held steady, possibly they're using some type of a video effect that's causing this pixelization jumping issue, lens flare, bug zooming by, or it's a ghost. Too inconclusive for me. What is this creepy figure? Suddenly we see a figure on the right side of our screen walking towards the left side when it disappears completely. Again, this is just a camera glitch where sometimes when these static cameras are just stationary, they don't always pick up everything that's moving because they're so focused on showing nothing that's moving for so long that it'll just glitch out like this. It's a weird, like, data mesh, IR sensor issue combination thing. I don't know why it happens or the full technology on it, but you can go watch Corridor Crew and their debunking videos, and they're VFX artists, so they can teach you more about what causes that. And the way this guy is walking, it's either the bad camera or he's drunk. I'm not sure which. What is causing this freaky face to appear? It appears that there is a face looking out at us, but when the door is opened and the light is turned on, it doesn't look like anybody's there. By freeze framing, we can see 3 potential places where someone could hide, and then when the lights are turned off, they just pop right back out and we see them again. The camera angle not being centered also stands out to me, as this is the best angle to catch this figure. But now he's going to try and open the door really quickly and catch it, but watch his right hand come in front of the camera and block the camera. Look at that. If you're trying to prove that that's a ghost and not a human hiding, why did you just block the camera with your hand? So this is what you don't do when it comes to trying faking paranormal videos, is don't stick your hand out there blocking the camera. Is a poltergeist causing this activity? Suddenly the branches on that plant start to move by themselves. It startles the man so much that he jumps over the desk and flees from the room. I don't fully understand what startled this man so much that caused him to flee. We're talking about some branches on that plant moving seemingly by themselves, right? Now, granted, that much movement in a plant would not be caused by a vent blowing on it. But my first reaction is earthquake. Earthquake would elicit that type of a run, jump, get to a safe place. But it seems to me like the security camera might be moving. But I'm not sure if it's one of those situations of, is the security camera moving, or is it somebody holding a cell phone to the security camera monitor? If the security camera is definitely moving, then it makes sense what we're watching is an earthquake. In a smaller earthquake, not everything gets jostled around. Or I should say, in a small earthquake that's not very high on the Richter scale, 2 or 3 would cause this type of movement, but not shake everything. So I don't know. This is just one of those weird ones that, it just almost like he's overreacting to something, but I don't know if he is or isn't. What do you think on this one? Leave a comment below. Who or what is chasing this motorcyclist? This motorcyclist has a camera behind him, and someone is racing after him on foot, chasing him, trying to grab him, and maybe even attack him. Fortunately, he's able to get away. But what prompted this? Is the person that's doing the chasing actually the owner of the motorcycle? Obviously, this is not paranormal, but it definitely is creepy, that's for sure. I would not want to be in that person's shoes. Either one of them. The one on the motorcycle or the one chasing the motorcycle. Do not do this at home. Sometimes when you click on creepy videos, they're not always paranormal. In this case, this guy decides to go across this bridge during a flood. The weight of the cyclist and the motorcycle itself could be just what is needed to finally knock this bridge down. Just that extra weight with all that rushing water, and that's it. And you're basically dead. If you fall into this water, you're not going to survive. It is traveling too fast, and there's too much other debris in that flooded water that you're going to get tangled up in. I am truly convinced the number one cause of death worldwide is stupidity. Chosen stupidity, not born with a mental defect. Choosing to be stupid like this. This is stupid. There's nothing smart about this. When you're on one side of this bridge and you see that you can't see the entire length of a bridge, why would you even take the chance? Because it's not like there's a ton of room for him to turn around in. I know there's adrenaline junkies and all of that other stuff, but this is just suicidal. And honestly, I really wish that we could put chosen stupidity on death certificates so that we could prove that the number one cause of death globally is chosen stupidity. And this would be an example of chosen stupidity. Please don't ever do anything like this. You're totally underestimating the power of water. Water has been used to move things for centuries. It's been used for electricity. It's still being used for electricity, water power, electricity. It's such a powerful force. Don't take these type of risks. Please just be careful and just don't admire or respect any of this because it's just stupid. Is this a shadow person? As these girls are running through the house, there is suddenly on the left hand side a shadow person. Were you able to see it? Let's slow it down and stop it right here. Going up the stairs or on the other side of the staircase looks like a shadow person. This is one of the things I hate about debunking videos, is that so often we have the grainy footage that is horrible and we can't tell what we're looking at. But then when you get good footage like this, then I'm like, well, is that a CG thing? Because that is so clearly a shadow person, but is it a real person just in a costume? So I feel like it really doesn't matter one way or another. We're always going to question this unless we see it ourselves. But now all I can do is question these girls and ask, how could you not have seen it? It's so obviously right there in front of your faces. Why didn't you suddenly stop, shriek, scream? But you have no reaction to that dark figure there? Why? Which kind of makes me think, okay, it's probably a CG or a video effect or something staged. What is this woodland creature? As we're going through this woodland forest, the camera will pan up and suddenly capture something, but then, what is it? What is that little thing? Whatever it is, he decides not to stick around. So we zoom in and slow it down. Even with freeze frame, it's hard to tell what that creature is. My guess is most likely it's CG. It doesn't look like it's fitting into that leafy environment quite right. Is this cable possessed? Suddenly this cable will start to move around. What's moving it? Who's moving it? What's going on? This is exactly what cats do. They'll go underneath a space like that and start just patting and petting and grabbing anything that might move that they can turn into a toy. And a cable is no different than a string to them. So my guess is you got a cat underneath that television stand. or you have a ghost cat underneath that television stand. If you agree or disagree with my analysis, please leave a comment below. You will find links to social media platforms for this channel as well as for Jim Riley in the description below. Be safe and don't investigate alone. If you appreciate this type of analytical analysis, please subscribe. And remember, question everything. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.